Hey guys, this is William Hanson from Rokslide. I just wanted to do a quick video to compliment the review that I just did on Exped UL9, long and wide. A couple things I wanted to go over was the pump system that Exped has. They have a little bit of a unique system that, unless you're used to dealing with Exped, you probably haven't really seen before. They have two flat valves, which are one-way valves, that one deflates and one inflates. These are, in my opinion, superior to the standard twist lock valve that you'll see on most other pads, because they sit far more flush to the pad, and they're a far sturdier valve that's way less likely to get damaged in standard use or in packing or whatnot. And those valves are just darn near impossible to fix once you damage them. So these kind of mostly eliminate the risk of damage. I guess it is possible to damage them, but it's far less likely. They also are unique because it's a lot easier to micro adjust your firmness for the pad if you're a picky sleeper, to set it just right for you. And all you do on that is, once you fill it up, you just stick your finger in there and depress the little green stopper, and it just lets small amounts of air out to adjust the firmness for you. The pump system that I use is their Schnozzle bag. They do make a battery operated pump. I've never used it. I can't verify how well it works. I would imagine it works as well as any other battery operated pump. It just weighs a little more, and there's more things to go wrong with the battery than a simple pump bag. The pump bag has several advantages. It is a dry sack, so what I use it for is I will roll my pad up and stick it in the stuff sack that it comes with, which also has the repair kit in it, and then I'll toss it in the dry bag. The reason I put it in the stuff sack first is because otherwise it uncoils and it gets kind of bulky. So I realize that it's redundant to put it in two sacks, but it keeps it packed tighter, and the pad will occupy a lot of room real quick if you're not careful. So I put it in this stuff sack, and I just toss it in the bottom here, and then I just kind of mash my quilt around it. Then I will take and fold this up like you do a normal dry sack, roll it up, and then lock it in place and squish quite a bit of the air out. I don't like to compress my down more than I have to, so I don't get it super tight, but it compresses to a cube about yay size, which fits perfectly in the bottom of my EMR tube pack, and still has enough give to where I can stuff stuff around it if I need to. If I was more pressed for space, then I could get it quite a bit tighter, but I don't, and I rarely am with my EMR tube. It also is a pump sack, and what this does is this is a nipple that fits inside your inflate valve, and then fill this thing up with air. I've already got it pre-filled a little bit, so you don't have to watch me fill the whole thing up, but it only takes, I don't know, 5, maybe 6 bags full. I'm not super good at it. It could probably get away with 3 or 4 if you are, but just fill it up with air and push that air into the bag, and that's that, pumped up. Then pull it out, and here's the valve. Release the air to your firmness, and there you have a full pad that you didn't have to breathe into. The reason that's beneficial is because the moisture from your breath you don't want to go into your pad. That will deteriorate the insulation in your pad, and it will shorten the life of your pad and make the R value decrease pretty rapidly. It can also cause mold issues. These pads do have mold inhibitors in them, However, it can still get mold. It also, you know, as you're all aware, oxygen's a premium at 12,000 feet. So the bag prevents you from passing out, which I almost did the first time I tried to inflate one, coming from 1,100 foot, you know, where I live, to 10,500, 11,000 foot the first day. I was gasping for air as is, and you try to, you know, huff and puff to blow up your pad. It's pretty rough. Well, this eliminates that. I also use this as a pillow, and I will take and seal up the valve in, and I'll toss my puppy or some other loose clothing that I have inside to add a little weight to it, because otherwise you're just effectively laying on a balloon. But you add a little weight to it, and you know, roll it a few times, and fill it up. And you got a pretty decent pillow. You can adjust the firmness of that by letting air out or putting it back in. Works very well for me. This can also be used as a shower. I have not used the shower head attachment. I haven't because I misread the weight on it. I thought it said 9 ounces, and I was wrong. Robbie informed me that it's 1.7 ounces. So I will probably be bringing one along this year just to give it a shot. Whether I actually use it or not, who knows. But it would be pretty nice to have on trips where my wife accompanies me or something, because she's more concerned with cleanliness than I am. And you know, effectively what you'd do then is you'd fill this with water and hang it from a tree limb or something. And you know, I would probably wrap a black trash bag, which I always have with me, around it. You attach your shower head to it. After you know, sat in the sun in the black trash bag for a few hours, it should be, you know, effectively a hot shower. And you got a shower head, and pretty nice luxury for backcountry to have a hot shower. This is not designed to work with any other type of pad other than Exped. However, you can get a little piece of hose from a home improvement store that will fit just inside of this valve and can go over the standard thread or thread cap nipple that you know, Exped uses or most other pads use. And we ended up doing that on my hunting partner's pad, because he uses an X there, and it worked fairly well on that as well. I believe that is it. Oh, just real quick, these two end cells on Exped are slightly larger than the middle cells, and what that does is it creates a cradle effect to help you from rolling off the pad, kind of like toddler bed bumpers. It works pretty well. I've never really had an issue, you know, rolling off the pad, unless it was user error and I put it in a bad spot. I can say that this is the most comfortable pad I've ever slept on, and I could go with a lighter pad. It's claimed weight of 30.2 ounces. On my scale, it's 29.7 ounces with the stuff sack and repair kit. This adds another 2 ounces, the Schnozzle bag. So just under 32 ounces for the whole kit here. I think it's worth it. It's far more comfortable than some of the other pads I've used, and in backcountry, my rest is at a premium. So I'll sacrifice the weight. It's incredibly warm, probably more so than I need early season for sure. I'm still gonna pack it. It's got an R rating of an R value of 6, and I've had it to -5 degrees with my 10-degree enlightened equipment quilt and been plenty warm, and warm enough that I still had to vent it. My wife tried it at that temperature, and she didn't try it for very long, but she said she was sufficiently warm, and she's quite a bit more cold-blooded than I am. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of me on Rokslide. Thank you for your time.